Good evening, Starspawn. It is I, your host and overlord, Almighty Cthulhu, coming back to you from the shed. Just ranting to myself, and I figured I'd get it out of my head. Um, so I'll tell you the story to begin with. I saw a post on Facebook. I was Facebooking, and something I shouldn't be doing. It's kind of a problem site. But I was on there and I saw this post, and it was about a preacher who was more or less he had instituted a rule for his church services and their community events where they are going out and swimming. He wanted the little girls to wear one pieces, like the one piece bathing suits, instead of the the bikinis and stuff like that. And I'd like to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a Christian, so maybe I'm not the best person to be speaking on this, but it kind of brings up some of the issues I have with Christianity, at least at this point in time. Maybe not so much when I left the church, but probably right now more so than anything else. Um, this guy had issued a rule to wear onesies, like the singular bathing suits, like I had said, to girls when they were going swimming as a church. And apparently he'd face some backlash on this. I'm not gonna link it. It was just a post on Facebook, so who knows how true it was anyway. But it kind of gets to some issues. This guy goes and he apologizes. I'm not exactly sure how he put this out or who was complaining or anything like that, but he apologizes and says, "You know what? I'm sorry. Girls should be able to wear whatever they want to. These little boys are gross, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to restrict this in any way or any meaning." And that makes me sound kind of bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think that anybody should be able to wear whatever they want. But this in particular allows me to point out two issues that I have with two different groups, which is cool. So I'm going to go at it. And the first I'll go at is the preacher. The second one I'll go at is the feminists who he's apologizing to. Because who else would he be apologizing to for this? Not the Christians, that's for sure. So, as far as the pastor is concerned, what does this matter? Like, the people who you are apologizing to aren't going to see this and just instantly convert over to Christianity. So, you've apologized, and at the same time, I don't know where this guy is from. He could have been from California, maybe not like a Rust Belt or like a Southern American pastor. So maybe something a little bit more progressive, like in a more progressive area. But he apologizes to these people who aren't going to join his congregation anyway. I've met quite a few feminists. Not very many of them are looking to convert anytime soon. So who are you apologizing to? And on the other hand, you're the moral pillar for your community. So, in this system that you've established where people just should dress modestly and act as modestly as possible, you're coming out and you're bowing down to something less modest. I saw one of the arguments that he had posted was like, "Oh, sorry, I have an army base around here. They're always flying Chinooks in and out. So one second while that goes by." Okay, I think that's far enough away now. I'm not gonna edit this because this is more of a rant than anything else. But this guy, back on it. Can't do it. He apologizes, comes out, moral pillar of the community. What he should have done, because he says that these little boys are gross and can't help themselves from looking at little girls, and then he feels bad for letting these girls not wearing whatever they want to. Instead of apologizing to this crowd of unappeasable ignoramuses, he should have said something along the lines like, "You know what? That's fine. because one of the arguments was like, oh, boys, they don't have to cover their bodies, so why do these girls have to cover theirs? He should have done the boys, girls both need to wear onesies, like the old school striped onesies for the boys, like they wore back in the 1920s. Like, go for it. Fine. Like, if that's the way you're putting on it, be more of a moralist, dude. Like, you are supposed to be the righteous one right now, like standing with God. Where is that? Where are you? Like, this is why you're losing members, and this kind of is one of the problems that I see with a um, religion that's looking to convert all the time. There's only two ways, as far as I can think of, that you can convert people, which is by the sword, and Christianity has already had that their problems with that, the Crusades and imperialism, which I'm sure everybody can put out the arguments about those. But on the other hand, they've decided to convert through the second method, which is culture. And the problem that they're having is that this is watering down their dogma and watering down their ideology and their idealism, which I can't. If you're gonna commit yourself to something, commit yourself to it. Don't half-ass it. Like the people that he was apologizing to, the Christian parents, probably weren't actually Christian in name. Like, I'm sorry, they were probably just Christian in name only. People who go to church just to be part of a community and not because they actually believe in anything or hold the value system. It's just something that they've been raised into, which I'm not. If that's what you do, go for it. But that's not the people you're supposed to be catering to as a pastor. So that's enough of that guy. The second group this allows me to go at is the feminists. Low hanging fruit. Everybody goes at them. Both of these are low hanging fruit as far as I'm concerned, but it allows me to talk about them, and I'd like to upload more on YouTube, so here we go. The feminists come at this in a very interesting way. It's not as direct. It's a very much more subtle thing, and it points out the hypocrisies more so in feminism. Not that they don't point them out enough themselves, but it allows you to see kind of like their cognitive dissonance when they're talking about such things. And one of these that I can think of offhand before anything else is they talk about abortion all the time. And I've made a video on this. Go check it out. It's somewhere on this playlist. They talk about it, and whatever you feel about it, it's fine. But one of their major arguments is that men shouldn't have any say in it because they have no conception of what it's like to be a woman, and it's not their body, which is something that comes down to with a lot of their arguments when I think about it. But in this one in particular, it's very interesting because they want these boys to act in a certain way, which is not to be sexually attracted to females. I don't know how many of my viewers are of which gender on this channel, but if you are not a man, you cannot understand what it's like to be flooded with testosterone at that age. It's strange, it's difficult. Probably not any more than women having their periods for the first time. I'm not going to act like we're so much better off, but it's a strange change in character. And you're just flooded with this chemical in your body that just makes you want to fuck everything. I'm 9 minutes in, I can swear. And I feel like women, for as much as these feminists, not women, I'm sorry, these feminist women, who I see these posts coming from more often than not, it's not dudes who share this shit, unless it's that pastor, if you want to call him that. They talk about this, and they have no idea what it's like to be a boy. we've taken this conversation now, at least the way they want to go with it, from being, hey, these boys are too attracted to you. That's boiling it down a lot and taking away a lot of the nuance. Bear with me. To, these boys are gross. One sounds more negative than the other. I'm not a linguist. My father is an English teacher, and I have fondness for the English language, so maybe that's enough, but something about that doesn't sound too positive. And if we were truly if this was truly an equal rights movement, it would be a positive message. Not one calling boys gross. That makes me think that it's probably more of like an empowerment movement. Those have gone over well. Um, but yeah. So they talk about these things, and they want these boys to act a certain way, and they have no idea what it's like to have testosterone coursing through their veins 24/7. But they want us to not have any opinions on their bodily needs because we have no conception of what it would be like. So, is that fair? Does that work? Is it ideologically and, logically consistent? That's for you to decide. I've made my decision on that. I just thought I'd point it out. So yeah, there's been a lot of meandering, walking about in this video. I've started up here in good framing and come down, but uploading is better than not. Hopefully one day it will be a little better. I don't think there was much more I wanted to talk about in this video. But yeah, to sum it up, I kind of hope that Christians get some balls back. Come on, Pope. Make yourself the moral center of the universe again, or at least try to, instead of pandering to all these different non-theistic religions. And feminists, before you talk about, what it's like and how we should act, those of us with balls, try having some. See what it's like. It's a lot different. I'm more than willing to talk about how women should be able to wear whatever they want, but maybe we could talk a little bit more about how, I don't know, boys are committing suicide at a higher rate than females at this point in time, and that number keeps going up, at least teenage boys. Maybe we can talk about how boys are leaving leaving school at a higher rate, not getting their diplomas in this feminist education system. Well, not feminist, but feminine education system. Maybe we can talk about how a lot of these boys are going and dropping out of society shortly after getting out of high school. We talk about your problems a lot. Maybe we should talk about ours. Until next time, I'm just going to sit here and wait for the stars to turn.